Hello, welcome to the PPC questions and answers. I am question and answer guy number one, and on the other side is question and answer guy number two. I can control the camera, so Jason didn't know that the camera was coming to him. So I'm going to put that one as a screenshot. I'm Chris, that's Jason. We have a question from Matt this time, and Matt is having a problem with his campaigns not running in Google. So let's read what Matt has to say. Matt says, hey guys, I've been binge listening to the podcast for a few weeks and love all the knowledge I have gained from Chris, and Jason's nice too. I am running AdWords campaigns for my employer and have come across an issue that has absolutely stumped me. We currently have 32 campaigns running and it with an overall spend of around 40K a month.
Call me, bro.
Yeah. You need a manager? But for some reason, one of the display campaigns has stopped working. 0 impressions in 3 weeks. Wow. And I can't figure out the issue. It is the only campaign that is not performing, and I've tried everything. Help. All right, Matt. This is a tough one to answer because we can't diagnose the problem. It's very specific for every advertiser. And I'll put my quick thought in. The first thing I usually jump to is there's an issue with Google possibly banning or some issue with the domain or something like that. But since you have 32 campaigns and it's not happening for anything but just this one, that's usually the first thing I go to, because you can often get some kind of trademark issue or there's some kind of problem with your domain. But I don't think that's the case with this one. So, Jason, you have some suggestions?
Yeah, it's kind of how to troubleshoot display, and some of this stuff applies to search when a campaign stops running. But so the first thing I would look for, since it's display, is, sometimes, Chris, people do have text ads, it's display ads, and if you were just going to say the word Clorox or Colgate in there for whatever reason, you could be approved limited or whatever, because you're using someone else's trademark and your ads stop showing. It could be an issue with the domain. Like you say, you need to make sure your ad's still approved. If it's remarketing, look at the interest in remarketing tab, and maybe there's an issue with your audience. Maybe it stopped collecting people and it's too small now. But really, after I go through those little troubleshoot things, Chris, and by the way, I also just double check the settings, because maybe if it's a company, maybe someone else got in there and changed the location from the state of California to like one little city. So you want to check your settings. But Chris, after all that's done, never hurts to call the 1-800 Google number in the upper right corner in the help. And I call it all the time, that when you have a technical issue like this. So those are the things I look for. But then if nothing seems obvious to me, I'm not letting this sit for 3 weeks, Matt. I'm calling Google and getting them to help me.
Yeah. And one other thing, Jason, you mentioned maybe somebody went and made some changes. There is a view history.
No, there's not.
Yeah, I know I'm breaking a manager rule here, but secret. There is a view history, which you can look at the view. You can see the change history. Thank you. You can see the change history for a campaign, and you can see if someone did go in and make any changes. So,
and here's how to narrow that down, Chris. Matt, set your date range to when you used to be getting traffic, and look at your little chart on the campaign area when you're only on that one campaign or the ad group area, whatever, and look for the exact date when things stopped, when things fell off.
Yeah.
And then go near that date range in the change history and see what happened. That way, Chris, if you have a super long change history, you can narrow down when the actual problem happened.
With 32 campaigns and 40K in spend, yeah, I mean, you don't want to go through that line by line. Yeah, narrowed it down to the day, about the time all that started happening. So
and call Google.
Yeah. So a lot of issues, it's really hard. I'm sorry, Matt. We don't, we kind of have to throw a buckshot here and just kind of say maybe it's these things, but it's difficult to really diagnose what the problem really is. Best thing we can usually say, because this is a technical issue, I think Jason nailed it on the head there, is call the Google 800 number and have them look at it, because there is definitely information that Google has on their end that you may not see on yours. Certain policy issues or editorial problems that are causing something that, depending if you use the new interface or the old interface. You know, maybe you might not see a certain warning that would be on the old interface if you're using that. So that's it. Hope that's useful. I know this is a chronic issue for a lot of people, and it might be really confusing. So we are here answering your questions all the time. Just be sure and fill out the question form on paidsearchpodcast.com. Of course, the link's down in the description, and we will be happy to answer your questions from one top AdWords manager and one very successful AdWords manager, and we'll let you figure out who's who. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.